Hey YouTube, it's Meowcenary here, and today we're doing Starfield mods, week 11, episode 7. Alright, hey, I'm still sick, so sorry if my voice sounds a little weird, but I want to thank everybody that has helped me get over 500 subscribers. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much. This is pretty awesome. Alright, so we're going to continue the journey and keep pushing out some content. Okay, so for the mods that we got going on, we have a skill respect mod. We have a smart dock mod. I'll explain more when we get to it, right? And then we have an online mission board mod. This is kind of cool because you could do missions, right? And then the next couple ones, we have fast travel, we have a luxury hub, and then we have some legendary crafting mods for just weapons. It'll be specifically for weapons, all right? And then everybody's favorite, some new thickness mods. All right, let's get to it. All right, let's get started on the very first mod. So the first one is the skill respect mod, and this adds a terminal in the basement of the lounge. So what this allows you to do is pretty much respect your points, your skill points. It should be a better way. So you could do all of them, and when you do all of them, it'll take like a few seconds, so you have to be a little bit patient. The one I selected was the social one, just so I can give you an example of what it's like. All right, so let's pull up the skill point tree. I always forget it's at the top right. Select into it. Now we go to the social tab, and as you see here, all my other tabs, I have them done. It's just when I respect, right? The commerce one, I just picked the commerce one just for whatever, right? Also, another thing to remember is when you do the respect, you're also going to have to do those rank challenges again. Like for example, here, the rank number 4 is locked, but before I had this all unlocked. So now I have to sell more items to get this or a skill tree, I guess you could say. All right, this next mod is pretty cool. It's called the Smart Dock. What this does is whenever you activate it, it's going to check your vital signs and be like, oh, okay, this is the health of the player, or it has like these injuries or afflictions or whatever, and it's going to apply whatever medicines that are in your inventory, and it kind of like a quote unquote best in slot, or however you have it to be customized. So it could either take your med packs or the emergency kit, just depending on how you have it set up. Like for example, here I started shooting at the guards, and so you'll see my health drop, and then I'll activate the smart dock, and then you'll just see my health jump up real quick. All right, so the way I have it set up, it is like gonna use the emergency kits if my health is super low. As you saw here, now my health is pretty much all the way up, and as long as you have the materials or like the kits, it'll be able to use it. So no more needing of running into the inventory. All right, so for the next mod, it is called the mission boards anywhere. What this does, it pretty much gives you the power of having all the mission boards at the palm of your hand, pretty much. With this little tablet, you can go into the general missions, the constellation missions, the United Nations, the United Colonies, and like if you had the Crimson Fleet missions and all that. But one of the cool features on here, it has the bounty clearing. So like as you saw earlier, like the earlier clip, how I attacked all the guards. Now I have no criminal record with the United Colonies. Now I'm good to go. All right, so for the next mod, it is called the craftable legendary weapons. So if you head over to the industry bench and you have like all the required materials, right? You can go ahead and start crafting stuff. So what you first need, you'll need to craft the legendary cores. Once you craft the legendary cores, you can do the T1 module, the T2 module, or the T3 module. Obviously, right, because we'll need the slots. So I just went ahead and did 15 of each. And then after that, you can pick the weapon you want to do. This is not going to conflict with like the vanilla settings. What this does is pretty much making a clone of the weapon. So the one that I picked out this time, I picked out the 1911. Okay, the XM2311. At least that's what it's called in Starfield. But I mean, it's pretty much the 1911, all right? So we head over to the weapon bench, right? So we head over here. Now we find the XM23. Oh, it's at the top. Okay, right here. So go ahead and click into that. No, as you notice at the bottom how you can mod this, it'll have a T1 slot. So we go ahead and pick a T1 slot. I like to do the extended magazines because, you know, more ammo, more DPS, right? So the more ammunition you have in one mag, you'll be able to output more damage. So go ahead and select that. All right, and now for the T2, the one that I usually like to do for the T2 is usually the Hitman, because getting that 15% damage bonus, that's a pretty good one, right? So it'll jump up. And then for my T3, my favorite one is the Shattering, because it just goes through armor like nothing. And nothing ever usually stands a chance when you have this legendary mod on. So it's pretty cool. And there you go. That's how you do the craftable legendary weapons. It's a pretty cool system. You should check it out. All right, this next one is called the Luxury Lines Habs. What this does, it pretty much puts a clean, empty hab on your ship, and you can pretty much customize it like the way you would do your like house or like your quote-unquote home, right? Or pretty much like an outpost in a way. And so there's a 2x2 option, there's a 2x1 option, and then there's a 1x1 option. So pretty much this just adds like space, and then it adds like passenger slots. So it'll add on to the mass. So if you're picky about that, but I didn't really care about like the weight, right? But I just want to show you guys how it goes. All right, so now that they're all set, let's go ahead into the ship. So this is what the inside of the 2x2 looks like. On the wall, you'll see a panel that'll say decorate. Pretty much with that, you'll be able to customize this hab. You can put a bed, crafting stuff, pretty much like the stuff like with the outpost, right? Or I should say more along the lines of like your home. And this is the 2x1, and now this is the 1x1. All right, for this next mod, it is called the Travel to the Unknown. So when you land on a planet or anything like that, you will notice that they have POIs. And with those POIs, you can't always fast travel to the location. You have to quote unquote discover it, and you have to run there. And this pretty much solves that issue of like, hey, I don't want to spend 10-15 minutes running to an area or location of interest, because that's a waste of time. So with this, you just pretty much fast travel to the location. So let me show you real quick. I just picked a random one. Let's see what's there. Oh, look, some little creatures. All right, take it out. So that pretty much solves the issue of like, hey, I need a vehicle to get to locations. Now you just pretty much fast travel everywhere. And I know some people are like, oh, loading screens, this and that. But if you have a fast system, you only had to wait for like, what was that, like a couple seconds? All right, our next mod is called the Outpost More Mission Boards add-on. So if you're a fan of doing outposts everywhere and whatnot, but you don't have that online board mod, with this you can add mission boards to your outpost, right? So if you're building stuff, you're like, oh, like, let me throw this on there. I mean, it only costs 1 aluminum. And so it has all the missions. It even has like self-service for the bounty clearance. So if you get in trouble or you do some stuff and they put a bounty on your head, you can go ahead and clear it, which I think is pretty neat. So if you're building and you're like, oh, let me do a mission, this makes it much easier to get into that routine. All right, now for the thickness mods, the very first one, it is the Thick Neon Dancer outfit. So this one got retrofitted with some new assets, you could say. But pretty much if you want to run around in this suit, now the Milk Drinker has modded this one. And so, well, you have a BBL on your character. And there you go. All right, for this next one, it is called the Miranda Lawson outfit. So if you want to, I guess, like play as the Mass Effect characters, now you can have some of the armors, right? They've done reskins of other armors for Mass Effect. They've even done other like tutorials how to do the Mass Effect ships. And so now you can have like that combo mix of Mass Effect and Starfield together into the world, which I think is pretty cool because, you know, they're both space games. So it's pretty neat. All right, and then for the next one, it is a update to the Neo City Former, right? Which this does, it adds the thickness to the lower legs. As you can see here, it was pretty much retextured by the milk drinker, which is he's all, or he or she or they're pretty much putting out a bunch of retexture mods with thickness, which is pretty cool. So here you have it. So this is the one in the white, and I'm about to show you the one in black also, right? So here is the one in black, and as you can see, it has the assets. Yeah, but there you have it. And that pretty much concludes this week's mod list. All right, thanks for watching. That's pretty much wraps up the week 11 Starfield mods for us, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. There'll be other types of content too, not just Starfield, you know, City Skylines, a little bit of COD, a little bit of everything. All right, y'all take it easy.